couple weeks ago, you were celebrating being drafted in the NFL, and here you are practicing for the first time in the NFL. How surreal is that, number one, and how comfortable do you feel out there?
Yeah. Oh man, super surreal. You know, since a little kid, my dream has always been to play in the NFL. So to be able to come to the Raiders with Coach Pete Carroll, Coach Chip Kelly, Coach Chris Beatty, you know, all these masterminds, been in the game for so long. It's gonna be a great opportunity. You know, I'm ready. You know, to just keep diving in, keep learning, keep understanding more and more the nuance of the game, and to just keep coming out here and getting better each and every day.
Pete Carroll talks about he wants to throw everybody into the fire. There's no hand holding at all. Do you like it like that?
100%. I think it helps you grow. You know, I kind of compare it to my freshman year at LSU, especially on a platform like that in the SEC. You know, whenever you just get thrown in the mix, you have to mature. You have to learn much quicker. You know, so same thing here. You know, you don't have any time to just come out here and not know what you're doing, not play full speed. You know, you got to come out here sharp, conditioned. You have to understand the game. You have to understand the playbook. You know, I think that only matures you and gets you better. So I definitely like it.
What do you see your role, the role you can carve out for yourself this year, and do you have like set goals in your mind for rookie year?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's gonna be whatever role the coaches need me to play. You know, I'm here to play my role. I'm here to help the team win. You know, it's a team first mentality. Whatever I can do to help the team win, I'm gonna do. So whatever role that's carved out, and the coaches want me to do, I'm gonna do to the best of my ability. You know, like I said, it's a team first, and I just want to go out there and help my team win as many games as possible.
What was your first impression of an NFL practice and playing under Pete Carroll?
You got to be conditioned. So you gotta run. You know, especially being a receiver, you have to be able to run all day. You know, and I think obviously conditioning on your own and football conditioning, it's a little different. But as you practice more and more, the better you get in football condition. So, like I said, I'm just excited to keep coming out here and keep learning under one of the greatest coaches ever, and keep sharpening not only my physical skill set but my mental skill set too.
Jack, any receivers you've kind of modeled your game after or studied?
Yeah, you know, there's definitely a few. You know, I definitely like breaking down the guys like Puka. You know, just how he uses his body to get open. You know, he doesn't dance around a whole lot. You know, he attacks the leverage of the body. You know, he'll maybe give him a 1-2 or something like that. But he uses big physical presence, his physical ability to get open. And the different guys like Cup, you know, just the way he understands the game, the nuance of the game, which, you know, is something I'm always going to strive to get better at each and every day for my whole career. Then just different guys who run routes, some of the best route runners in the league. You know, people like Amari Cooper and Justin Jefferson. You know, just trying to, and Coach Chris Beatty does a great job about that. You know, showing you a bunch of people's game, so you can kind of just pick from people and take what you like, kind of just mimic their game a little bit.
Jack, obviously there's not going to be any contact for a while. As a receiver, what do you focus on this time of year when it comes to practices?
Yeah, you know, especially just getting here as a rookie. You know, it's easy to come out here and understand if you have the stutter and go, if you have a curl, if you're blocking backside. But it's more about understanding the different leverages, understanding what the defense is doing, and then taking it a step further and understanding like the nuance of the game. You know, knowing where to attack. A big thing is knowing how to get open and when to do it. You know, a double move might work great. You know, a stutter and go might work great against, you know, or slant and go against a cover 3 where you get them to bite, but that might not work well, you know, against cover 4 or cover 2. So different things like that, just as I go, especially like I already named, you know, the great coach we have in this building, just learning more and more from them, and really sharpening my mindset, or not my mindset, but my mental around the game. Because that's how you last and that's how you become a great player. It's what is between the ears.
Jack, Pete talked about your relationship going back a few years ago with Coach O at LSU, another Louisiana kid like yourself. He's kind of a big, tough guy, football guy. And what did that mean for you as an 18-year-old kid to kind of learn under that type of a coach?
It was amazing. Coach O was one of my favorite coaches I ever got to play under. Obviously, he was a defensive-minded coach. But, you know, I definitely took away a lot of things like mindset, hard work, determination, a bunch of things like that. You know, I'm speaking for everybody on those teams. You know, you'd run through a brick wall for Coach O if he asked you to in a second. And there's just so many things we took. But one of the main things I took from him, too, is just, like, the passion of the game. I mean, Coach O loved the game. He came in there every day ready to work. And that's another thing where I think if you want to be great, not only a great player but a great teammate, You know, you really got to be passionate and love the game. So those are a lot of the things I took from Coach O.
Jack, 2025 has been such a year, highs, lows, lows. I mean, have you had time to process? Like, are you kind of compartmentalizing where you are? Are you taking those times? Or, you have people in your life that are helping you say, like, this is how you kind of maintain and go forward with everything?
Yeah. You know, it's definitely been, like you said, a lot of ups and downs, highest of highs, lowest of lows, quite literally. But you know, I think it's just about taking it one day at a time. You know, I'm huge into my faith. You know, all my faith is in God. You know, that's the reason I'm able to be out here is because God has given me all the opportunities. You know, I have my brother on my back, just being my guardian angel. Like I've said hundreds of times over again, you know, I'm a 2-for-1 deal. You know, I have myself, but I also have my brother with me right now who really pushes me every day. And like I said, I think just taking it one day at a time and not really getting too starry-eyed. I mean, this is my job now, so there's no reason to, you know, look at it with big, gloomy eyes. You know, you might as well just come in here, put your head down, and start working, and you know, start gaining the respect of these guys around you as quick as possible.
2 more guys.
What was your first impression of arriving here at the facility for today and just kind of getting the energy level up with the rest of the group for rookie camp?
It was amazing. We have a great group of guys out here. You know, it's been awesome to meet everybody, you know, coming in the building and putting a lot of name to faces. You know, we have a really special class. You know, they drafted, you know, undrafted free agents, and all the guys out here trying out. You know, everybody I've met has been a stellar guy, A+ individual. You know, and I think that speaks for what they're trying to do here. You know, I think that speaks for the Raider organization, the people they're bringing in, and just the class of all these guys here.
What are you looking forward to the most this upcoming season?
Yeah, just to keep on learning. You know, I don't call anything failing. You know, I take that as a learning curve. Anything you do, you know, if you win a rep, if you don't win a rep, you know, you can always learn from it, even if you think it might be a perfect rep. You know, so I think it's really just, and especially having a guy like Gino, you know, Jacoby Myers in the receiver room, Gino at quarterback, you know, some real vets. You know, it's going to be awesome to get in with them next week and really start picking their brain and seeing how they see things and start understanding it from a true pro level.